I'm Lindsay Pape. I'm the resident costume designer at the Omaha Community Playhouse, and I've been here for 5 years.
I'm Andrew Morgan. I'm the properties master here at Omaha Community Playhouse, and I've worked here for about 2 years now.
Well, the Playhouse actually started in, I believe it was late in 1925, but this building is only maybe 50 years old. I think at the beginning of the 60s is when it opened. How do I think the Playhouse has changed over time, over almost 100 years? Well, it started out and it was all volunteers. Every director, every actor, every person that built a set was a volunteer, and slowly it built up to maybe 1 or 3 people that worked full-time at the Playhouse, and now we're up to, I think, 32. That's not including part-time, but so actually the staff has grown, and we are expected to do bigger and splashier things.
Over time, Omaha Community Playhouse is, if we're tracking across its history, has improved for the better. It's certainly, and again, in my time, become more inclusive. We've done a lot of DEIA training to make everybody feel welcome and feel like they belong here. So I would say that's maybe one of the number one things. Omaha Community Playhouse, I believe, does anywhere from 9 to 10 shows, I want to say, a year. Depending on the year, we're changing some things up with programming next year where we're doing one last show. But that's not to say there isn't other things that we're working on. There's always events or rentals, or with our Starshine van, which is our mobile touring vehicle that we had to build. That's just another additional project that gets added to our schedule. So we're very busy with the 10 shows, but also additional things that happen in-house and also for the benefit of the community as well.
One of my favorite things about working at the Omaha Community Playhouse, I mean, there's lots of great things. I love all the people that come through the building that I work with, that volunteer, that act here, but my favorite part is the costume shop, because it's big and it's bright and it's tall and there's room for everything, and we all have our own workspaces that we could keep clean or not, and there's plenty of space if you need to spread out or make a gigantic paper mache head or do whatever. So there's just a lot of space to breathe and do whatever work you need to do or want to do. So a lot of freedom.
So my favorite thing about working at OCP is definitely the people. Above all, we have a really great collaborative effort here. And specifically with what I do, I get to interact with all the other departments because there's a lot of crossover. So getting to collaborate with Lindsay Pape or John Gibalisco or Darren Golden, our technical director, it affords a lot of opportunity to work on projects together, and that also affords the opportunity to learn new things, because you don't know what other techniques they may incorporate into their building. So what makes theater special, of course, it's a live performance, which really offers itself to have a special connection between the actor and the audience, and sharing the special moments, emotional or otherwise, and in spectacle, of course, that you wouldn't otherwise get to experience in filmed content, whether it be television or the movies or what have you. And not only that, not every performance is the same, right? You get a unique experience. As much as we try and keep it consistent between each show, you get a unique experience every time you come and see it. And you get the opportunity to notice different things or see the nuances and subtle nuances of the performance of the actors.
The immediacy of a play, the fact that it's live and that anything could happen, and sometimes the audience's favorite things when things go a little bit wrong or something unexpected happens, and there's always room for that in theater, probably every night. Something doesn't go perfectly, and it's kind of fun when you find that moment and then can applaud the actors and the technicians and all the work they put into making it move ahead anyway. We're gonna fix this, we're gonna keep going, and when you see that little bit of, I think something happened there, but you don't know quite what it was because they did a good job of making it work anyway. what is the role of arts in the community? I think the role is to reflect the community back to itself, what it could be or what it is, if it's, revealing cold, hard truths. But yeah, no, I think it is a mirror or a reflection, maybe a funhouse mirror, kind of a warped version. Depends on what show you're doing, but I think it should always reflect where we are or who we are or what we're thinking about. I think the Omaha Community Playhouse has impacted the culture in Omaha by giving lots of people, even some famous actors, their first start, whether it's through the Playhouse or Nebraska Theater Caravan when they had a tour going out. So there's some famous actors that have come from Omaha and have worked here, and then there's some that became famous elsewhere and then came back to say thank you. So I think it helps elevate what people think of as Omaha and Omaha theater while still relying on the people that live here. And it could be their first break. It could be their last show after a career of 50 years. So there's always kind of a place or a room to be at the Omaha Community Playhouse.
My name is Sharon Noon, and I am Audra's grandmother. I started going in 1999 when my friends, the other person that she was going with, passed away, and she asked if I wanted to join with her, and I said I would love to. And so I've been going for 22 and a half years. I continue to go to the Community Playhouse because it is such a relaxing Sunday afternoon that we go and just sit there and enjoy. We go out to lunch first, and then we go to the Community Playhouse and sit there and relax and watch our show. And then we can chat and do whatever we would like. Favorite show is The Christmas Carol that I go and see almost every year since I've been going to the Playhouse, and before that too. And that is my favorite.
Christmas Carol here at Omaha Community Playhouse is special in a couple of different ways. The number one thing being that it's been going on for so long, just like the Playhouse itself. I think we're on 40 years, I want to say, going towards 41. I might be wrong on the specific number, but it's really become a mainstay and a Christmas tradition here for the community. At least in my time in OCP, one that I've particularly grown fond of, and not just because it involves food, is Tech Sunday Dinner, where our first technical performance for our shows occurs on a Sunday, our Tech Sunday Dinner, which is where we all just kind of come together, actors and production staff and other staff, just to enjoy a meal together, which is, I think, very important because, in some of these other situations, you don't necessarily get to interact with these people, which I think is important to get that cross-pollination to remind everybody that we're working together and that we're not separate entities necessarily, which often feels like it's the case because, actors here are rehearsing in the evening, production staff is here during the day, and
We need a funny or emotional or kind of important story about the Omaha Community Playhouse. Actually, even though I've only been here for 5 years, my mom helped me do a lot of sewing at the Omaha Community Playhouse. My first 2 years, she built a lot of beautiful costumes. And when she passed away, we had her celebration of life here. And it was lovely. I got to use whatever spaces I wanted. We got to decorate it however we wanted. And so we made it like a great, awesome afternoon. So while that's not theater, it was for a group, is for the community, and a bunch of people could come and see the theater and see the work my mom had done, and had a great time, had a positive emotional time.
Oh man, I don't like to be interviewed. Can you just see my face? Is that what you see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Has the experience?
Yes.
Okay. Is that
Yeah. Yeah.
flag?
Like, ready.
I'm always ready. Okay, cool. So Omaha.